A developing situation unfolding involving Marilyn Manson, who was scheduled to kick off his European tour later this year on Halloween in the UK. And we recently talked about how there were calls from an elected official there to cancel that performance for Marilyn Manson. This based on the previous legal situation with Manson having sued his former girlfriend, actress Evan Rachel Wood, who accused him of abuse. Manson has denied those allegations. He recently celebrated 4 years of sobriety and last year announced that he was continuing that music career after going on a hiatus for the last couple of years while this matter played out. And so there had been calls for this show to be canceled, but now we've learned, surprisingly, that they've actually made the decision to cancel Marilyn Manson's show. Now, back in January, Manson was under a criminal investigation that went on for multiple years in Los Angeles. You remember his home was raided in connection with that investigation. And earlier this year, the district attorney in LA announced that they would not be filing any charges against Manson. They said that they couldn't prove any case against him beyond a reasonable doubt. And so now you have this announcement in the UK that Marilyn Manson's show will not go forward during his UK tour later this year. Marilyn Manson's show in Brighton, UK has been canceled. The concert, which was supposed to kick off his European and UK tour on October 29th at the Brighton Centre, is no longer happening. This follows significant pushback from local politicians and activist groups who have been calling for the cancellation of his UK dates. The primary opposition came from a British member of parliament who represents the Brighton Pavilion constituency. She co-signed an open letter with several organizations, including the Survivors Network and Reclaim the Night Brighton, urging the city council to scrap the show. In the letter, the council member Barry stated, "Many survivors in Brighton and Hove and organizations supporting them will have very serious concerns about this booking and its impact on other people visiting the city center, local residents, and the wider community." Now, she continued, acknowledging the principle of free expression, but highlighting other factors. She said, "Freedom of expression is an important principle that should be defended, including in relation to artists. But there's an obvious risk to community cohesion, and the council has separate equalities obligations. The council has a responsibility to take action where there are risks of discrimination, harassment, and victimization." She concluded saying, "The level and nature of the accusations against Warner are concerning enough alone, but so too is the message sent out by providing a platform for this individual at our city's biggest publicly owned venue, and what this will mean to survivors." So now we have this brand new statement just in confirming that Marilyn Manson's show has been canceled there in the UK. It says, "We are very pleased to hear that Brighton Centre have decided to stand against male violence and misogyny and cancel the upcoming Marilyn Manson show. A big thank you to everyone who was involved, all the MPs, councillors, and organizations, as well as every supporter who took the time to help out. Thank you to Brighton Centre and Brighton and Hove Council for doing the right thing." Now, certainly at the time this show was booked, they had to have been aware of Marilyn Manson's legal situation. And this raises a lot of questions for artists if they're going to be booking that particular venue, which is apparently owned by the local government there. If there is pushback from members of the local community, are they just going to cancel that booking, and should they just consider playing somewhere else? It's not a question of whether or not people in that community would show up to watch Marilyn Manson perform. It's a question of whether or not local government officials are going to attempt to cancel that performance, like we're seeing here, where they successfully did so, and what this does mean for freedom of expression for artists. I'm curious to hear what you think down in the comments. That's your latest update here from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates.